VGK scores 3 goals in the third period, 2 by Noah Hanifin, en route to their first road victory of the season, 4-2 in Edmonton. Deets coming your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, and please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com, America's #1 sports book. We felt that Noah Hanifin, Chris, his goal against Utah, that second period buzzer beater, might propel him to get into the swing. And it really did lift his confidence. We'll talk more about Hanifin later. But we know that he scored twice, including the game winner in Edmonton last night. And VGK notched its first road win of the season. It was a 4-2 final over the Oilers. I want to talk about Adin Hill, probably deserving the #1 star in his third Four Nations tryout, stopping 27 of 29 shots on goal. He especially couldn't stop one of the shots. It was a freak goal that hit something in the corner, came out, and we saw what happened on that right there. And Zach Hyman came out on his stick. But his best save of the night.
Hyman, you said Hyman's a VGK killer yesterday, by the way.
I did say that, right?
You did say that. You did, absolutely.
I wanted to pick him as one of my locks of the night, but his best save, though, for Adin Hill was on Victor Arvidsson in the third period. That was a phenomenal save, and it could have put the Oilers up 3-1 at that point. Talk about the goaltending last night of Mr. Team Canada. I think it was a lock last night for him now. Talk about locks of the night.
Logan Thompson 6-0. We'll talk about that later. Relax, buddy. Relax. Calm down.
Okay, but I think he made Team Canada last night.
Right. So, listen, timely goals, timely saves, right? I mean, that's exactly what yesterday was about. Second period could have been a lot worse. Oilers had obviously a good run in the second period, but VGK stayed in the game thanks to Adin Hill. Third period, timely saves, timely goals. Really a very simple formula for a road victory. Complete game, as close to a complete game as we've seen by the Vegas Golden Knights on the road so far. One of the keys to a success that I highlighted yesterday was for the Golden Knights to be even in 5-on-5 play and win the special teams battle. They got a power play goal. There you go. That's that's one of the major differences right there. So maybe it's a turning point. Maybe this is the type of game that the Golden Knights needed just to relax a little bit with these road games. Obviously, there's a lot of demons in your mind when you can't win on the road. So hopefully this game will relax them and keep the Golden Knights in a good spot going to Seattle. Because now, I said yesterday, 3 points on this road trip is good. Now it's got to be 4 points on this story. Got to be a 4-point trip.
Yeah, you hope that they can close out the tail end here. Connor McDavid was back to work last night. Didn't even hit the ice for the first 4 minutes thereabouts. It was really odd. So you could tell he's still feeling the effects of an ankle sprain.
Yeah, 21 minutes.
Played under 20 minutes and had one solid shot on net. Took 2, not effective last night. But we had a feeling that he would draw in, and he did. And he didn't really make that much of an impact.
21 minutes. 21:02 is his official count for.
I said under. Okay, over 20 minutes. Over 20.
Yeah, I tried to cut.
You tried to help me there. Yeah. Okay.
Listen, McDavid had a dynamite chance. I believe it was in the second period where he was in all alone. He went low on Adin Hill. It's the best place to go when you're in that close. And whether it was a pre-scout or Adin was able to beat him to the puck, either way, it doesn't matter. It's certainly a really good save. I got the shift chart in front of me right now. Someone commented yesterday on Twitter that it's a good thing the Golden Knights got William Karlsson to shut down Connor McDavid. So looking at the shift charts, the two definitely did play side by side a lot. I don't know if it was necessarily an effort to shadow McDavid, but there was a number of shifts. I would probably just say, by looking at this very briefly, there was a number of shifts where they were out there together, William Karlsson and McDavid. McDavid finished with 2 shots, and I mean, he's a -1. Is he effective on the score sheet necessarily? Not really, but when McDavid is out there, it certainly helps the Edmonton Oilers' chances of getting a victory.
Speaking about finishing, right, in close, that Jack Eichel goal was exceptional because he didn't have any space on Skinner. He really did not. And he just went.
Created space.
Absolutely. It was just like he didn't have much right there. I thought he was going to run out of room, but Skinner just couldn't stop him there in tight.
Yeah, I mean, how about the Shea Theodore pass? I mean, put the puck in space, right? If I could, that's why I preach to my youth hockey team: put the puck in space, let the forwards go and chase it, and obviously that gets you behind the other team's defense, and that's exactly what happened there. Eichel and breakaways, I don't know. I don't know if I have a stat to support this claim necessarily, but I do remember a lot of times in the last couple of seasons where Eichel would be alone on a breakaway and just couldn't find a way to finish. So good to see him start the scoring in, a pretty important game for the Golden Knights in the way that he did. And then obviously the alley-oop of an assist to Mark Stone at the end of the game. That is a brilliant pass. Like, I don't think people understand how smart of a pass that was in the circumstances. You got Mark Stone all alone. There's no lane low. If Eichel backhands that puck low, it's going to hit a defenseman. It's going to get played, whatever. So Eichel just takes the high road, as Gosher likes to say, and Mark Stone gives me a VGK reverse puck line victory.
Yes, you know what? You are really good at looking at the numbers and trying to figure out like which side all the betting's going and the sharp money and all that. And so last night you took VGK minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5, yeah.
Yeah. And you got the empty netter. And I was rooting for you, except I didn't want one player to hit the empty net. We told you how bad Edmonton's special teams were coming into this game, and that perhaps could determine the outcome. And lo and behold, the penalty kill, they were 60% down in the basement in the NHL in that category. And they lacked resistance, because on that first power play, we saw the Golden Knights get 4 shots. Stoney had a really good look at you like the way I'm using
Stoney. Listen, you Stoney. Wow. Tony's drinking the Kool-Aid, guys.
I drank some Kool-Aid with my breakfast today with the Wheaties. I poured the Kool-Aid on the Wheaties. Okay, so
we're not a BLT, huh?
Not much resistance, but Stone hit the side of the net when he was in tight. 4 shots in that first power play, and then they break through on the second power play there, and they just had a really good look for Hanifin, and he buried it. So they looked really loose on special teams, did Edmonton last night. Not characteristic. I know that they're not a great defensive team, but on the PK, you've got to be better than 60%, or they're not going to go anywhere this season.
No, I mean, really fast back to the puck line bet. My only perspective on the bet last night was McDavid's a darn good player. Okay, fine, whatever. But the line shifted 55 cents from minus 110 on both sides to minus 165 for the Oilers. I don't care who you are. That's too much of a shift. That's the end of the story there. That's way too much of a shift. I don't care about the Golden Knights road woes and everything. I'll take a chunk of that value every single time, and it worked out. Yay me. But now back to the special teams. Yeah, I mean, you see what a successful special teams can do and what a unsuccessful special teams can do. VGK has had their issues with special teams. Even in the Stanley Cup winning season, the VGK had issue with special teams, and you can see how it puts you behind the 8 ball. This year we've talked about, and we'll hit Marchessault a little bit, speaking of former Golden Knights, but a lot of goals left City National and T-Mobile Arena this past offseason.
They left town.
They left town. There you go. They left town.
Cassidy says they just left town.
They left town.
He also
a lot of goals.
He said Edmonton is down there. Okay,
there you go. A lot of points left the building. There you go. So now the Golden Knights need to find ways to get more points. Not a hot take right there, but improving the power play is the easiest way to replace a small portion of those points lost. And then obviously Brett Howden, Keegan Cole, having breakout years, or having having career years is going to help. Pavel Dorofeev having a breakout year is going to certainly help, and maybe Holtz is going to start heating up. And just really fast, that last goal, the game-winning goal, it was such a seeing eye play. First of all, Hanifin had a dynamite look earlier on in that shift. This is the game-winning goal. If I said tying goal,
Is that the Barbashev assist?
Yeah, the Barbashev pass. The Barbashev pass. So it's basically a 4-on-2 or 2-on-4 scenario for the Golden Knights. Holtz dumps and changes. Barbashev goes in to basically delay the breakout so the rest of the players can change. Noah Hanifin reads that there's 4 Oilers just sitting around watching the puck.
Passengers.
And Hanifin...
Passengers.
Yeah, passengers, exactly. That's really good. There's 4 passengers out there. Hanifin breaks straight in, and Bouchard was the donkey of the play there, just stuck there watching. He was the passenger on the back of the bus, not even paying attention. And Hanifin, he's not going to miss that twice. We heard that in the post game. We heard that on the live call. He's not missing that shot twice. And nice to see Hanifin heating up. We'll talk about that soon.
Oh, yeah. And Ben Hutton drew in yesterday. They finally got him some burn. Played pretty well in the absence of Nick Hague. Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Hutton, let's see here. Breaking it down. 13 minutes of ice time. Okay, that's fine. That's not a terrible thing right here. And I actually pulled up the report card from last night's game too. Let's see, where's Ben Hutton on the hockey stat card? Right in the middle. Fair game. In the
middle.
Yeah, right in the middle, which is fine. McDavid, same deal. McDavid measured right in the middle as well. So that, again, a little more credit, a little higher than the middle, but
higher,
again, credit to William Karlsson for being on there and keeping McDavid pretty much neutralized 5v5.
Jack Eichel seemed to be relieved that he scored a goal. It was his 4th goal of the season that he scored, but he's gone, I think, 4 games without a goal. And in between periods, he was like, hey, I just want to contribute to this team. Just feeling like he just was maybe pressing and couldn't get a goal to be scored. He's a great assist guy, but he needs to score some goals. And I think,
listen, it's the mental side of the game can be a professional athlete's biggest thing to overcome, so to speak. So Eichel did go two games without points. The Kings and the Utah game, obviously VGK split those games, but 3-point night in 1 and 2. And then before that, he goes 4 games and then no points against Florida. And then he starts the season with a 5-game point streak. So Jack needs to relax a little bit. He's just fine.
He needs to shoot the puck a lot more, for crying out loud.
Needs to shoot the puck a lot more. Needs to shoot. I'm delaying 3. Okay, here's his shot totals. He's had at least 1 shot every game this season. 3 shots. That means I think someone missed their parlay last night.
Someone missed 3.5. It was 6 and a hook. Was it Stone?
6 and a hook was the over/under, but I thought
Stone. He had Stone. I saw the tweet.
It was Stone. It wasn't Eichel. Okay, let's see. Stone.
No. He had Stone and Eichel 6.5. I think it landed on 6.
Either way, well, it's 5 because Stone was 2 shots. And Jack
5, he lost.
Was I don't know, whatever.
Jack was
3 shots, 5 shots.
Yeah,
okay,
5 shots. Okay. Coming up next, we will talk about Noah Hanifin some more. He really has gotten a lot of confidence of late. We'll talk about that next on Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you today by Gametime, which has a new feature called Gametime Picks. Makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. A lot of folks out there looking for tickets for Billy Joel coming up at Allegiant Stadium. You can check that out. Billy Joel and Sting. It's quite a show. Of course, don't forget that there are all sorts of terrific features, and there's curated deals that make it easier to find the best price on great seats. The super deal, seat views before you buy, lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, a lot of great things. All-in pricing is my favorite. You toggle this feature. It shows you the total up front, and there are no surprise fees at checkout. All-in pricing must include the fact that you have to turn on this feature, so please do so when you go to Gametime. Lowest price guarantee. They will credit you 110% of the difference. There is Gametime ticket coverage. Your purchase covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork, folks, out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will receive $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it, Mr. Golick?
Game time.
Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook, it's the app that gives you everything that you need right in place, live bets and all on the NFL, all in the same spot. And coming up, of course, we've got Thursday Night Football. Should be a good one. The Ravens, a 6-point favorite over the Bengals. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out all of the latest stats. You can view the live play-by-play and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com and join today, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your initial $5 bet. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Back on this Thursday edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Tomorrow's WTF. Saturday is the Chris times Chris Jr. show, and that is the YouTube exclusive. And, I was just mentioning, I think it's Friday night. Is it Friday or Saturday? Billy Joel will be in concert at Allegiant Stadium. So I don't know if I ever told this story on the air, but okay, so Billy Joel was playing at T-Mobile Arena one night, and my friends were there in attendance, and they had nice corner, like mezzanine seats. They get up to go get some beverages. There was an opener on. They get some beverages, and they go up there, and a guy pulls them aside and says, "Hey, I'm with Billy Joel, and we want to move you guys up very close to like the second row." And there were 4 of them, my friends and couples, of course. I'm the lone whatever. So they give them 5 tickets to move down. They know that, of course, I'm the New York-ish guy. So they call me and go, "Hey, we got really close seats for Billy Joel. He's going on in about 5 minutes." I make a U-turn. I was out and about. Make a U-turn, drive to T-Mobile, and we're right there in the second row for Billy Joel. And on top of it all, now, I'm the no paparazzi guy, right? They kept showing us on the stinking screen behind Billy Joel. So I'm getting text messages, and that was a great night. But nonetheless, they do move people down, though. Like if they see attractive looking couples and stuff, me aside, they will move you down.
Good thing you weren't there, Tony. If you were there, your friends would not have had that nice of a night.
They would not have had that view. There's absolutely no way. Oh, we were going to talk about Noah Hanifin on this show. He's really come to life the past couple of games, back-to-back 3-point games, breaks out of an early season slump. And other than shooting with a lot more confidence, what is Hanifin doing to lift his game?
Well, technically, it was a 2-point game last night, 2 points and 3 points, but that's okay.
Where am I coming up with these numbers today?
I don't know, Tony. I don't know. You said you don't drink, so I can't blame it on that.
Yeah, it's not alcohol. Can't blame it on the alcohol.
Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Listen, I'm sure
it's the same thing about Jack Eichel, right? I mean, obviously, we're still talking about the best league in the world, #1. It's not easy for anyone to score. That includes McDavid and Ovechkin and everybody else. Some make it look easier than others, but it's definitely not an easy league just to go out and say, "I'm getting a goal tonight. I'm going to get a hat trick tonight." That's not how hockey works by any means. Hanifin, again, mobile defenseman, and really since Pietrangelo got moved with them, Hanifin's scoring was pretty much non-existent. I believe it was the home Kings game back on the 22nd after that road trip when Coach Cassidy changed everything up. Hanifin gets 2 assists in back-to-back games, Kings and Ottawa. No points in the next 3, and then 3 points against Utah, 2 points against Edmonton. Hanifin's mobile. He's not afraid to jump in the play. His speed is going to help create separation, and when it works out, he's going to get dynamite looks like he got those 2 looks in the third period, one being the game-winning goal, obviously. So I think I don't think Hanifin's changed anything about his game. I don't know if he's doing anything different. sometimes a goal does just unlock something, though. It just, it's a lot of pressure off you. You start playing a lot freer. You mentioned VGK was playing a much, freer type of game last night. So I think that's a big part of it right there. Hanifin went from pacing for 22 points before the last 5 points in the last 2 games. He was on a 22-point pace. Now he's at a 50-point pace for the season. 50 points is, I think we said anything like 43 to 45 points would be a really good number for Hanifin. If he gets to 50, that's amazing. Or maybe he stays hot and all of a sudden by the end of next week, he's on pace for 64 points, and even better if that's the case.
Is next week American Thanksgiving? No,
it's coming. It's coming. Is that your favorite holiday of the year just because you say American before it?
I said American Election Day the other day, so everything. I also mentioned Canadian Thanksgiving, and that was I thought
that one threw me off. I remember that.
Yeah. Okay. So Hanifin scored on the power play. He was the QB of the power play unit, and this was something that we talked about all off season, that he would be in that role. They've used Theodore before, and so this role really. Is this going to be his role?
So that was the top. So he scored that goal. I didn't catch it. Was he on the top power play unit in that goal?
No,
or was
I think
that
it was number
unit?
2. Somebody got tired, came off the ice. Who's in the second? Is Juan in the second power play unit?
The second power play. Well, the defense. There's 2 defense. The second power play unit's going to be. Well, you're talking about the top power play unit. It would have been Theodore. It would have come off, and Hanifin would have jumped for him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the second unit is Pietrangelo and Hanifin. You have 2 defensemen out there.
Will he eventually be the QB? Will he eventually, Hanifin,
as we thought he was going to be the QB coming into the season because he was the QB exiting last season. That said, listen, Theodore has done a fine job on the power play. I don't have the power play metrics in front of me recently, but Theodore has done nothing to lose that job, so to speak. So either way, though, however it worked out, it was nice that Hanifin, they were moving the puck really well before that, and really Hanifin's shot wasn't – it was a product of a couple of passes that just moved around the person at the top of the diamond, if you will, chasing the high shots, and he had a lane. I don't know how much Skinner was screened on that shot. There was obviously traffic. I never saw the north-south view. I don't know if Skinner just kind of fluffed the shot or if it was more a product of him not seeing it. Either way, just shoot the puck and good things happen when there's traffic in front of the net, and there definitely was traffic.
Yeah, it wasn't like a blistering shot.
No,
that beat
it was
him.
A low shot. He was shooting for a stick. Like Coach Cassidy says, he was shooting for a stick. He was shooting for a deflection.
We are seeing Hanifin. We talk more about his role, more present on the offensive end. And now he's a guy that's trying to get in on the rush. And we talk about them pinching an awful lot. And so he could score more goals because he's going now to be a more offensive defenseman, if you will.
Pietrangelo is another mobile defenseman. So kind of the same concern that Pietrangelo and Theodore had. You got to be careful. They are both, they're not offense first mentality. That's more Shea Theodore's role, but they are certainly mindful of what's happening on the other side of the ice, and they're going to get down there as quickly as possible. So as long as the communication is there, you have a couple of very seasoned vets, to say the least. They're going to find a way to work it out. And the pairing has worked out. Really, things changed for the Golden Knights as a unit, as a team, when they got the defense back together as far as last year's pairings for the most part. We'll see if this morphs into the best defense in the Pacific Division, which is where Coach Cassidy, that was the measurable that Coach Cassidy put out there. Their goals against suggest on a nightly basis that they're not yet, but things are trending the right direction in that regard.
Coming up next, we take a look at a couple of VGK players who Bruce Cassidy might say left town. Marchessault and Thompson. We'll talk about that next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. We are driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you to find quality candidates and fast. Ditch all the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, for screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates a lot faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences each and every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So the more that you use Indeed, the better it gets. And listeners of this show, Locked On Golden Knights will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now. Support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this very Locked On Golden Knights podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Back on Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas, the city of sin, Tony Cardasco,
It's family fun. It's family fun city. It's a family city.
Tony Cardasco,
family fun center. College. It's like bowling alleys. They're family fun centers now. Condos.
Okay, so don't forget tomorrow is WTF, and I'm sure we can talk more about keglers and bowling and drinking kegs of beer and stuff like that. And Chris Golick and Chris Jr. on Saturdays is a show to watch, YouTube exclusive. Okay, you have updates on former Golden Knights, Jonathan Marchessault and Logan Thompson. They played against each other last night. LT defeated, undefeated now, I should say, undefeated 6-0 in Washington. Marchessault 7 points, 2 goals, 13 games, 1 goal taken down last night. Just cannot find that chemistry word. Marchessault scored a goal last night, 7:47 remaining, and Mark Del Gaizo runs into Thompson. And so Dad of the Caps actually pushed Del Gaizo into LT. Goal should have counted, but this is the type of no puck luck, lack of puck luck that Jonathan Marchessault is having.
So starting on the Marchessault side, this is fascinating. Barry Trotz has all of a sudden went from being a GM who, just making these crazy offseason acquisitions, hoping it was going to lead to success, to talking about starting the rebuild plan. We're 13 games into the season. So
yeah,
Barry Trotz, I thought, was a brilliant GM. And all of a sudden now I'm thinking he might be the most impatient person in the National Hockey League. You got to feel for Stamkos, Marchessault, and was it Braden Point as well who went there? There was another player as well that was involved. A big offseason acquisition for the Preds. I don't know if it was Point or someone else, but whatever it was, point being is...
Did you say Stamkos? I don't know.
Stamkos, yes. No, Stamkos, Marchessault. I forgot who the third one was.
Yeah.
Sugar
it wasn't
Point. I don't know.
No, whatever. Point is just Tampa. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so point being is they made 3 big offseason splashes, and now all of a sudden they're talking about starting the rebuild. Like, I don't understand if this is Trotz just trying to motivate the team. I mean, maybe they need to come to Vegas and get a U2 show canceled. I don't know, but they got to definitely figure something out right now. And again, you feel for those players. I know people are, when you say you feel for Marchessault, they're going to laugh and whatever. And I don't know, you had an observation on the broadcast last night. I'll leave that to you if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, no, I could bring that up. I just thought that state-run media was gloating when they talked about Trotz and perhaps going into rebuild mode. And of course, they mentioned Marchessault as many times. You know what, folks on the VGK media side, leave Marchessault alone. He left town. Okay, let him. I wish nothing but the best for Jonathan Marchessault. I think he'll come out of this funk. I think he'll come out of it. I mean, it's not really bad, that he still has 7 points. It's 13 games. To me, it's still small sample size. And, but they're gloating and like Jonathan Marchessault, really struggling there. Leave him alone. And then, of course, how many times can they talk about McNabb breaking the total number of games over Marchessault? Yeah, he now, has the lead over Jonathan Marchessault. Just say that he has the lead in total games. I mean, leave the guy alone.
Well, VGK has a way of smearing names once they leave.
Why?
If it's
not, leave the guy alone. He didn't do anything wrong.
I'm with you, Tony. I'm with you. We bring him up too. So I mean, I understand
Thompson did
both
nothing
sides.
wrong. Look at the better opportunity that he presented to himself.
Yeah, no,
100%.
And like I said, if you're not with VGK, you're against VGK, and that goes all the way through the media department as well, and the on-air personalities. So it's, whatever. That's the VGK brand, and we've experienced this for not just one season, but now 8 seasons. The better part of that when someone leaves town. Logan Thompson. I mean, let's shift gears here for a second. We're talking about players going in opposite directions. Logan 6-0. He's having the time of his life in Washington. I'll tell you that right now. He is having the absolute time of his life with the Washington Capitals, and someone who has bet on himself. And since he bet on himself, he hasn't lost a game in the National Hockey League. So good on Logan, number one. Last night, very strange game, right? One of the goals was a tip-in, looked like a high stick, but it was good. And then the goal that got disallowed, you talked about, and he had a real big save down the stretch. And the Caps might be the most fun team in the National Hockey League just as a unit right now. 6-0, 903 save percentage, a little below his career mark, but we'll see if that comes up. But 281 goals against is right about where it needs to be. Maybe that can go down a little bit too. But, now the Team Canada aspect of this, you have Stuart Skinner had a good game last night. He was fine. Aiden Hill obviously had a better game. Jordan Bennington seems to have a spot locked up. Anyone you talk to, and Darcy Kemper's name is mentioned in there as well. So I mean,
really,
his name is it's a thin pool, Tony. It's a thin pool. I mean, no disrespect to Aiden Hill, Logan Thompson, and Darcy Kemper, and Jordan Bennington, but we're not talking Vasilevsky, we're not talking Hellebuck, and we're not talking Igor Shesterkin here. Let's be clear about this right now. So that's why I say it's a thin pool. Jake Ottinger, another name right there. So we'll see how the Team Canada stuff shakes out. But I think if it was today, you got to think, like, the decision gets made. Is it American Thanksgiving? Is that when they're trying to lock this thing down?
Yeah. It's pretty soon.
I mean, if Bennington's got a spot, how does Logan Thompson not have a spot locked up? He's 6-0. He's 6-0 with good measurables.
Right. I think Aiden's had more tryouts, though, if you look at it in that regard. I think they're going to take 3 goaltenders. And now, I think both Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson, I think, will be on that roster. They have to be.
You think Aiden Hill can stomach backing up Logan Thompson?
Oh, my goodness. Could you even imagine? Oh, the drama. We're not going to hear about that on a VGK broadcast.
What if Bennington were to get hurt? And all of a sudden, Logan Thompson gets the first,
gets the gold,
and Aiden Hill goes second. Oh my God!
We need to find the odds for this Four Nations event, because this is so lopsided.
We need to make our own odds. We need to make our own odds. We can make our own odds.
Canada's got to be minus 500 for all the effort. That's all that they do, is they talk about Canada. They put all the resources into Canada. Crying out loud! Canada's got to win something. Okay.
USA is going to have something to say about that. They're going to have a pretty good roster too.
Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, we're acting like it's WTF day already. So we are.
I'm off with the kids off. Tony, we talked before we start. I'm off this week. I went out late to get dinner last night because I was working, and I'm like, I got to take the garbage out. It's Wednesday already.
Did you go to Flaming Fajitas?
No, I went to Chick-fil-A. Don't tell me.
Oh, okay, Chick-fil-A. Okay. Of course, tomorrow is WTF. Please line up all of your comments. I was getting some spicy stuff last night thrown towards me, of course. And don't forget the Chris Jr. show, and that is the YouTube exclusive. That is on Saturday morning. So ditch the stinking cartoons. For my man, Chris Golick, we appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. I'm Tony Cardasco. Have a terrific day. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please, folks, take care.